Hey everybody! In this video, I want to show the work I've been doing on my new farm plot that I completely rebuilt from the ground up. Specifically, just the workshop building for now. I'll show you how I made this. So to get started, I have a Grand Harvest house, and I'm going to place a medium building on the side of it. And I want this medium building to have no walls all the way around it. I'm going to start by ghosting this wall here. If I go back to my regular plot, that wall's now gone. I want to do the same on either side, but as you see, it's not possible to do because the Grand Harvest House is in the way. So I'm going to place a hallway here and temporarily move this medium room and do it here instead. Just ghost the wall. Do this on both sides and then move the house back. And I'm going to change this to the open concept on all sides. And you'll see that the walls are now all gone. I'm also going to change this to an open concept. And then add one more large room on the back side. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use an unbuilt gazebo. I'm first going to place this on the ground, and I'm going to line it up with whereabouts I want it to be. And I'm using a app called the Palia Assistant application. I'll link to it in the comments below showing where you can download this. I'm using it specifically to get coordinates of where my cursor is aiming when I'm trying to place this here. Once I have the coordinates of where I want this gazebo to go, I'm going to come to an empty plot. On this empty plot, I'm going to be using the coordinates from the app so I know where to place the building. And I'm going to line it up on one axis and then use the shift to keep it lined up. And then I'm going to move the camera around to get it just in the right perfect location. And I know that I can't just click and spam click. I need to jiggle the mouse a little bit. So I'm going to do a little bit off, knowing that I want to jiggle the mouse up a bit as I click this here a bunch of times. And as I eventually do that, and I come back to this building plot, you'll see that the gazebo landed exactly where I wanted it to go inside of the building. Then I just add a couple sawmills, and I have an area designated for creating planks from wood. Next, I'm going to build the doors. I'm going to start with a couple planks, stack them on top of each other. I'm going to add 2 more planks stacked on top of each other. I want to make sure that the planks go with, so make sure that they're placed touching the first plank. And once I have them stacked like this, I'm going to put them on top of this contraption I have here for rotating objects as I build. With it rotated, I'm going to pull out some pillars, and these pillars are going to be like the railings on top of the door. So I'm going to place these at the top. One pillar's too short, 2 pillars too tall, so I'm going to use 2 pillars and merge them into one slightly shorter pillar. Just make sure that it's about the same height as the doors combination. Pull it out here, and I have my giant fish plush just to show you when I cancel the placement of an object, my giant fish plush will pop out, just so you can more easily follow along with the rest of this. So I have this placed on the ground, and I'm going to move it 2 spaces, cancel the placement, and then I'm going to place this pillar again in the exact same position that I had it, so that way it doesn't move. Grab the bottom pillar and place it, and it should merge them together into one smaller pillar. I'm going to place this back on the door. I don't want it at the very top, I want it one below that. And I want to merge it into these doors as well. So I'm going to grab the base here, cancel the placement after moving it 2 spaces, and then place this again in the exact same position. I'm going to grab the base and place. This will merge the pillar into the doors, and it'll be like a track railing for the top of the doors to go. And then these doors will go right inside here, just like that. However, first I need to put some doorknobs or handles of some sort. I use the Winter Lights wood ornament, which you'll be able to acquire with this upcoming Winter Lights if you don't have this item already. Now that I have the handles on here, I can place it in here, but something's in the way. So I'm going to use the cancellation placement to get these pieces out of the way. You can see the giant fish popping out because I'm canceling the placement. And this will allow me to put this wall piece where I want it. And when I place it with left click, the other pieces jump back to where they were. And now I have half of the door. Just repeat this same thing, but opposite for the other side. And there you go. 2 sliding double doors. Next, I'm going to add some wallpapers inside and out. I'll forget this little space here. And as I move inside, I want to use a wallpaper on the ground, specifically the cloudy quartz stucco wall. I'm going to do that by using obstacle placements with the wallpaper. I myself am the obstacle with this chest. Left click really quickly and then place the wallpaper with number 2. And if I do it quickly enough, then the wallpaper will go on the ground. And do it on this side too. And I think it gives it a really cool looking concrete look, perfect for a workshop. So next I'm going to move on to some interior decorating. I'm only going to show one aspect of this, and that is I'm going to make this table. And adding just some chests on top here, lined up with the back. And I'm going to add this little trophy thing on top of the table. And I'm going to place this, which way? I'm going to place it on top of here. And I'm going to place it specifically in this direction, just so you can see the problem I'm going to run into. And what I'm going to do is, again, more obstacle flicking or obstacle placement. The chest is the obstacle for placing the building block. And I'm going to rotate this table just a little bit so I can get the right angle I want for this axe. This axe is a wall-only item, and I'm going to place it on top of this table. But there's something you have to know is this has to be in a specific orientation. Because the axe pops out of my inventory in this direction, this is the way I need to be facing when I place it on the table as well. So the block is the obstacle, or is the item being placed, and the chest is the obstacle. And I'm going to click really fast and then use the number corresponding to the item in my inventory. And if I do it fast enough with the obstacle placement technique, it'll land on the table. Now I actually want this to be inside the table, so I'm actually going to do this again. Move the structure 1 space back, and then cancel the placement with the fish you saw pop out, and then do this all over again. And don't get it right the first time, every time. And I'll grab the base in place, and you see that it sinks into the table, and you no longer see the back of it that's inside the table. And this axe now looks like it's just placed on top of the table. I'm going to rotate this again, because I'm going to do the same thing, but with the hammer. The hammer automatically defaults to the same orientation, so I can keep it at the same angle. And I can again use the trophy and the crate to place it where I want it. And again, I need to cancel the placement of this back 1 so it can sink into the table. And then I'll do it one more time. It doesn't always work out. And if it ever gets stuck on your cursor, you can double click the number corresponding to where the item is in your inventory to reset it. Happens to me quite a bit. So once it's placed properly, grab the base in place, sinks it into the table. Now you have a hammer and a pickaxe on top of the table, making the workbench look pretty realistic. I'm going to add one more thing on top of here, and that is this garden variety axe that you can get from the Zeki prize balls or boxes. I'm going to place it right there. I don't quite like the angle of it though, so I'm going to rotate it once more. This is going to be a bit easier because I don't need to sink it into the table. Look pretty good right there. So grab the block, building block, and I have things in the way, so I can just click really fast, and it worked on the very first try. Pretty lucky. And there you go, a table with tools. You can put it inside of your workshop. So I did the rest of the decorating off screen. I'll go inside and show you the final result I have. My smelter room has a custom made smelter just with some building blocks and some things that make it look more like a barn on the inside. There's my workbench table outside to the lumber area. And inside, this is my design workshop room area. Centered some tables that I'm building. This little modification bench area with all these colorful paints. This is kind of the shelving unit that I made, similar to the shelving unit that I have a video on and made for my haunted house. And there's my workshop. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching.